As we are all well aware, there are three things, according to traditional social mores, that you do not discuss upon meeting someone for the first time: politics, religion, and fat. All, as you will soon come to find out if you haven't already, we do not care about social mores here on this channel. So we're going to talk about fat. All right, we're going to talk about what fat is and what fat is not, and the best ways to, well, defeat it, get rid of it, burn it, destroy it, slaughter it. So what is fat? Fat, in the context of what is on our bodies, that kind of fat, is also known as something called adipose or adipose tissue. Okay, so it's a tissue that develops on your body. How is this? How does it develop? This adipose tissue, composed of fat cells, so your body does have fat cells. There's cells that are specifically made of fat. Okay, this adipose tissue made of these fat cells accrues on your body as you eat more calories, as you consume, that is, more calories than what your body needs at that time to maintain its current level of body fat. Okay? So, in order to understand all that jumble of mess, we need to know what a calorie is. So, a calorie is a unit of energy. So, it's a unit of measurement. It's a unit of energy. That when we reference calories, we're talking about like how much energy it takes to do something, and I mean anything. That is everything. Literally everything your body does is powered by calories. That's the energy source. It doesn't matter whether it's walking or lifting something or breathing. All your vital organs require, they gotta operate on something. Every like self-automated thing in the universe needs an energy source. Okay, if you want a flashlight to work, you want your battery, if you want your remote control race car to work, you have to put a battery into it. There needs to be a power source. Okay, people don't use batteries. We don't plug ourselves into a wall, but we still need energy, and that energy comes in the form of calories. Okay, so that's what a calorie is. We're just talking about energy. So every day you expend a certain number of calories when you do everything that you do, even when you're sleeping. It doesn't matter. You could be comatose and you are expending some number of calories because your body is still functioning to keep you alive. So every day you use a certain number of calories, and that's going to change from person to person. Okay? If you are not using as many calories as you are consuming, then those calories get put on reserve for later in the form of fat. That's what happens. Your body fat, the body fat that you can see on your body or on somebody else's body, is basically just energy in reserve. It's the backup energy source. Okay? So it's like the backup generator for a grocery store or some sort of commercial facility or whatever. The power goes out, yet it goes right back on again because they have a backup generator or something. That's what your fat is. Okay? It's the power on reserve. Problem is, people aren't using this power source on reserve. They're just consuming more calories and gaining more backup power, and it's just accumulating on their bodies in the form of fat. This is the epidemic. This is what's happening. People are just consuming more than what they're actually using. Okay. So now that we've briefly discussed what fat is, let me definitively describe what fat is not. Definitively describe it like that. All right. Fat is not water weight. Okay? Fat is not water weight. You cannot sweat off fat. You can't sweat away fat. Okay? That's not how that works. Water is not fat. So if you think that on a hot day, going out for a run on a hot day and sweating off the weight is you shedding fat, you are wrong. That's not how that works. What you are shedding is water, which, because you're just dehydrating yourself, needs to be replaced again anyway. So you didn't really get anywhere. Water is not fat. Speaking of that, the second thing fat is not the 5 pounds that you miraculously lost overnight when you decided to start a workout regimen coupled with a new diet. That wasn't fat. That was also water weight, unfortunately. Happens to the best of us. Nothing to be concerned about. However, it's also nothing to be that happy about, okay? You will not lose 5 pounds of fat overnight. That ain't happening. It's just water. Fat is not bloat. Bloat caused by indigestion, for example. Okay, if you eat something that disagrees with you and you start bloating from gas and whatnot, that is not fat. Okay? And again, closely tied to that, fat is not the expansion of your gut as you overfill it. That is also not fat. Fat accumulates adipose tissue that accumulates on your body slowly over time as you eat more calories, as you eat calories in excess. As we say, you eat in a calorie surplus. Okay, that's more calories than what your body needs to maintain its current level of body fat. If you're eating more than what you need, you're going to get more body fat. You just get fatter. Now that also works in reverse, of course. If you want to lose the fat, what you have to do is you have to go into a calorie deficit, meaning that you consume fewer calories than what your body requires to maintain its current level of body fat. It's that simple. Speaking of simple, how many calories do you need to either consume in excess or expend in a deficit to either gain or lose a pound of fat, respectively? The math is super convenient here. It's very convenient, actually. So 3,500 calories. Now that's a lot of calories, okay? But when I say the math is convenient, it's very easy to, what I mean is it's very easy to calculate, because 3,500 happens to be divisible by the number of days in a week, 7. In other words, if you eat at a 500 calorie surplus every day, that is, let's say, for example, you need, and a lot of people don't, especially smaller people, because we live sedentary lives collectively in our culture. But anyway, let's just say you need 2,000 calories a day, okay? But you're eating 2,500 calories a day. That's a 500 calorie surplus each day, which means that over the course of a week, 500 times 7, boom, 3,500 calories in excess you've consumed. That's 1 pound of body fat that you've just put on your body from those 500 calories each day, which unfortunately is not hard to do. Okay, that's like one donut. Sizable donut, respectable donut. I don't mean like a tiny little, like, you get like 40 little donut holes in a basket type donut. I mean, the respectable donut. It's like 500 or 600 calories or something. So it's not hard. But it works the same way as well. 500 calories, if you need those 2,000 calories a day, but you want to shed a little weight, if you eat at a 500 calorie deficit every day, so instead of 2,000, you're consuming 1,500, then over the course of a week, you will have gone on a 3,500 calorie deficit by the end of the week, and you will, theoretically, all other things being equal, I'll get to that in a second, but you will have lost a pound, okay? Now, I say all other things getting equal because this is the caveat, all right? I just want to throw this out here really quickly, very briefly. Metabolism is an extremely complex matter. It's a very complex subject. Your metabolism is it's constantly in flux, okay? And it changes depending on your regular activity level, how much you weigh, like how much muscle mass you have. We'll get to that in a second. It's always changing. It's just fluctuating all the time. So, but these hypothetical examples are all based on, let's just say if your metabolism were to never change, okay, and you go on a 500 calorie deficit every day, by the end of those 7 days, you will have lost exactly 1 pound from a 3,500 calorie deficit. All right. So now that we know, if we understand what fat is, at least we have a rudimentary understanding of what fat is at this point. You've consumed too many calories. Now you got to get rid of them. What are the best ways to do that? Well, as I've suggested throughout this video, it's your diet. You are what you eat. Literally, like this, the things you put into your body. It's not just eating; it's drinking too. And your beverages are. If you are seriously overweight, your beverages, I guarantee, are a problem. Okay. It's everything you consume. Everything that you consume has a caloric value, and usually you can see that on the nutrition facts label of anything you consume. Very few things don't include that on the packaging, and oftentimes if it's that rare event where it doesn't include that, oftentimes I will not eat it because I'm looking at my calorie intake on a daily basis. So I'm very mindful of that, and you have to be mindful of that too if you're serious about losing weight. All right. So the first thing is your diet. You gotta cut the crap. Okay, and I don't mean you have to cut it out completely. Remember, we're making micro changes for macro results, for big results. So if you eat a lot of junk food, start out by cutting it in half. Okay. Or if you think that if you're eating a lot of chips every day, find something else to snack on, something healthy that will fill your gut. If you can tolerate some kind of vegetables, okay. If you can tolerate, say, carrots, and those could replace your chips, go ahead and eat those. It's a much better option. Vegetables are like the best option for losing weight because they fill you up. They're very satiating. Okay, vegetables are extremely satiating, generally speaking, and they contain a very, very small number of calories. All right, so the number one thing is going to be your diet. You got to make adjustments to your diet, and we'll have all sorts of videos about different aspects of that. The second thing that you can do if you want to lose a significant amount of weight is you can start weight training, which is the main focus of this channel at this point. Start weight training. Why? Why weight training? Why not running? Isn't cardio the best option? Well, yes, it is. During the particular moment in time that you're engaging in that cardiovascular exercise, yes, it is the best option. Cardio exercise is the best thing to do activity-wise if you want to lose weight. It burns a lot of calories while you're doing it. But it's not the best option for losing weight in the long term weight training is. Why? Because as you weight train, you will develop muscle. And muscle is metabolically active all the time, no matter what you're doing. Okay? When I go to sleep tonight, I'm going to be burning calories like a machine because I have some muscle on my body. Whether I'm resting, just walking around the house, whatever, I'm burning more calories. There's in another universe somewhere, okay, there's an alternate me who has less muscle than I do, and he's not burning as many calories every day as I am because he doesn't have as much muscle. All right. There's also the bigger me in another universe who's burning even more calories than I am. You get the picture. Okay, the more muscle you have, the more metabolically active your body is. Okay, the higher and faster your metabolism is going to be, the more muscle you build. That's how it works. Which is why you can see people. Which is why you can observe people in real life who have just these silly, they're just outrageous diets. They eat tons of food, and I am one of those people who can eat a lot of food. I can consume a lot of calories and I burn them off. This was especially true when I was getting more hours at my workplace and I was working, 40, 50 hours a week doing strenuous, not merely just physical labor, but strenuous physical labor for practically every minute of my time clocked in at work. So I was consuming so much food. It's like I couldn't consume enough food. I was eating so much. And it's not like I was just eating low calorie stuff. I was eating like carbs like crazy. I would eat bowls of cereal that contained 600 calories or more in just the cereal alone. And I'd put more stuff on it. It was ridiculous. Why? Because I was working all the time and I was building muscle. And my body needs to use this energy to sustain itself. So, your diet and building muscle are the two best ways that you can combat your fat. It's really that simple. There's other stuff like you can do some cardio and whatnot, but cardio is good for the moment. It's actually not good for building or for burning fat over time. In fact, it can actually cardio, and there's a big debate. All right, there's debates. It's a hot topic. It's a hot debate topic online. Cardio, is it good for losing weight? Is it bad for losing weight? Is it better than weight training or not as good? It's a big debate. My position at this point is I'm of the persuasion that yes, it's good in the moment. Okay. But it's not good over the long term. Really, you just want to build muscle if you want to have a consistently fast metabolism. Because look, if you can do like 2 hours of cardio every day, yeah, you're going to burn a lot of calories. You're going to be super lean. All right. But most people ain't doing that. Okay. And the problem is if you decide you just don't want to exercise for a week, you don't want to go running or biking or whatever for a week, guess what? You're not burning those calories for a week. Your body's expecting you to be out there burning those calories and you're not doing it. But what if you're into weight training, you've been doing it consistently for 6 months, a year, and you've built a significant amount of muscle on your body, enough to notice, all right? And you've gotten a little bit leaner. What happens if you decide to take off for a week then? You're still going to have the muscle. And it's still going to be metabolically active. And you're still going to be burning it. In fact, this is exactly what happened last summer. I was concerned because I was trying to burn fat and get pretty lean. I was concerned because I was going to have 2 weeks of vacation, straight vacation to have with my daughter. And I was like, well, I'm hardly going to be burning any calories. Like I was concerned about gaining just a little bit of body fat over those 2 weeks. So I was like, well, I'm not going to be burning those calories working those tens of hours each week at my physical job. So I wonder what's going to happen. You know what happened? Nothing. Nothing happened over those 2 weeks. In fact, I look back at the pictures, and there's a picture my mom took of me sitting there with my daughter, and you can see I'm kind of sitting there like this on the stairway outside on the porch, so my back is kind of pressed against my shirt, and you can see the ripples in the back of the shirt. Okay, I didn't get fat over those 2 weeks. It didn't happen. Why? Because I had the muscle already, and it was burning calories even when I wasn't trying. So that's how the muscle works. That's what you got to do. You got to alter your diet, and if you're serious about losing weight, you got to alter your diet, and you have to start picking up some weights. That's the best advice I can give you if you want consistent results that are sustainable over time. That's the best thing you can do. All right? So, in summary, fat is the development of it's adipose tissue that develops over time because you're consuming too many calories. It's that simple. If you want to get rid of it, you have to go into a calorie deficit by some means. It could be just consuming less. It could be more exercise. It's preferably a combination of both, especially if you are, say, like morbidly obese, okay, and you need to make changes to your life soon because the weight, the stress that you put on your body is literally threatening your life. That's why they call it morbid obesity, because it's life-threatening. So if that happens to be the case for you, I would urge you to do something about it. And you can, whether you're watching my videos or somebody else's videos, any help you can get with that, any sort of motivation or inspiration you can get from that, whether it's me or somebody else, I think would be beneficial, because that's why I'm here. I'm here to help people get healthier and get into shape so they can stop suffering. Okay? It's really that simple. All right. That's all I got for this video. I'll see you in another one. Thanks for watching.